here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling. Got a little on the water video for y'all today. We're going to be talking about fishing nothing looking banks, like the flat, gravelly, nothing looking banks that don't have any unique feature on them whatsoever. And sorry the wind's howling like 100 miles an hour today. Hope the audio's okay. But anyway, I got some good examples here what just a nothing looking bank talks about. We're just going to go down through here and I'm going to explain to you some of my favorite techniques and some of the approaches on how I like to fish it. So we're going to get into that in today's video. Also guys, before we get started, just a big thank you out there, all you dudes out there that's been hitting that subscribe button here at Intuitive Angling. Really appreciate that, man. Everybody that's been using all those video links, big thanks for me and my family. So I'm going to turn the camera around here and we're going to sort of get into this and give you guys some good juice on fishing these nothing looking banks. So here we go. Okay guys, now here's a really good example of what we're talking about with nothing looking banks. These are just gravelly banks with no cover on them. Most of the time these flat or nothing looking banks, they don't have a real quick access into deep water. They have a gradual slope to them, and they can be small rock like this. This rock here is about golf ball size or so. It can be gravel, it can be clay banks, mud banks, but any type of nothing looking bank. These are some of my favorite areas, guys, because you're talking about nothing looking banks like this. There's nothing about them that really stands out, and a lot of times they get bypassed. So let's talk a little bit about some of the things you want to look for. Now, first of all, anytime you're fishing these do nothing banks, any type of irregular feature is going to be better, whether it be like the back of this cut here, this little secondary point that comes here. Those are going to be high percentage areas, but not necessarily everywhere you can catch them. You can catch them anywhere along here, and more than not, it's just about the technique. So talk a little bit about the technique as far as different type of water temperatures, seasonal patterns, and the lures. Okay guys, how I fish these things, these nothing looking banks are good all year long. They're good in the winter time, spring, summer. The fish use them all the time, sometimes more than others, but my favorite times to fish them are the winter time and the springtime, and any time in the summer or the fall where you got a lot of wind or low light conditions on it. So let's talk a little bit about the 4 seasons, how I approach these. Now, most of the time on these nothing looking banks in the winter time, I'm either throwing a jerk bait, a small swim bait, or an Alabama rig. Those are going to be the three top lures for it, regardless of the water clarity. Now, I don't fish anywhere in the winter that's got less than 2 foot of clarity. So my number one bait is just getting on these flat banks. And again, guys, I don't know, apologize if the wind's too much here, but I just cover water with a jerk bait and try to target, that 5 to 20 foot of zone, depending upon how deep the water is. And then same with the Alabama rig. Days like today where it's blowing like crazy, Alabama rig's probably going to be a little bit better, a little bit calmer conditions, jerk bait. And if it's super calm and bright conditions, a little swim bait's going to be real good. Now in the springtime of the year, guys, this is a killer type of area for a shaky head. I'll just get on these banks and try to target that 5 to 15 foot of water with a shaky head. Maybe like a Carolina rig can be good with it. Sometimes you can still catch them on a jerk bait, but god dang, that wind's really bad, guys. Sometimes you can catch them. I'm gonna actually get this protective coat, man. It's so windy. Sorry about that, got out of the wind just a little bit here. So, but anyway, like I was talking about, the shaky head is going to be my number one bait in the springtime of the year. And the areas that I look for on the shaky head, again, are the secondary points like this. They can be real good. Or the backs of the little cuts like this. Just fan casting that shaky head back in there. Wacky rig can also work good in the back of the cuts. But you can't go wrong with the shaky head or the wacky rig or even a Ned rig. If the water is clear, sometimes the Ned rig can be pretty good. Also, one thing, guys, in the spring, in early spring, like before the fish are actually bedding, a lipless crankbait or some type of a flat side crankbait fished in these particular areas can be really productive, especially if that water visibility is sort of between 2 to 3 feet. But like I said, you got to target the points and the backs of the cuts. Now, in the summertime of the year, about the only thing that I do with these things, I'll start out early with the top water. I'll just cover these nothing looking banks like with a walking top water. And then one of my favorite things to do is to get out there like on those points, and I look for any type of break or any type of brush that people have planted. These flat points like this in the summertime of the year, they're really good for like throwing a deep diving crankbait. Just get out a little bit deeper, like in 10 to 20 foot of water, throw a deep diving crankbait, a big Texas rig worm, football head jig, anything like that can work. Now in the fall time of the year, Again, top water can work pretty good. That's probably one of the best things you can throw, a whopper plopper, walking type top water. But my favorite way to fish a nothing looking bank in the fall time is burning a spinner bait on windy days. So if I get a day where the wind's blowing like it is today and you got some low light conditions, I can take that little Megabass SD3 spinner bait and just wake it just under the surface. Really good way to catch them like that, especially if the water visibility is over 4 feet. And if it's a little bit off colored, I catch a lot of fish throwing a little bitty, like a 1/4 ounce lipless crankbait, like a little 1/4 ounce rattle trap. That can work pretty good too. But the main thing, guys, is just don't pass them up, man. They're just really good structures, you know, all year long. So many people gravitate towards the real premium, awesome looking areas that are visually attractive. But one thing you're going to find, as the fish get more fishing pressure and there's more people on the water, they gravitate towards these nothing looking banks because these areas do not get the fishing pressure that, you know, a lot of other areas do. So anyway, guys, give them a try. Like I said, just use your creativity. That's some of the things that's worked for me on it, and hope it helps you guys catch a few, and we'll talk later.